Come and speak. Dan is the Shadow Secretary of State for International Development. So can we please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Dan Cardin MP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Molly. Can I start today by congratulating again Jamie Driscoll for a fantastic victory. He has got some of the most exciting, radical policies that could transform this area for the good for the next couple of decades. So Jamie, I wish you all the best. And it's an honour and a privilege for me to be here to mark May Day in a city which has many similarities to my own city of Liverpool. There may be some rivalry between our two great cities this evening, but we'll leave that to one side. I'm proud to say it's the political wing of the trade union movement. And I said when I was first elected to Parliament 2 years ago that when workers are in struggle and workers are on strike, I'll proudly stand alongside workers on picket lines. And at the last election, Labour put forward a 20-point plan for working people. It included banning zero-hour contracts, a guarantee for trade union access to the workplace, 4 new bank holidays, maximum pay ratios of 20:1 so that bosses can't earn grotesque sums of money for work they do in the public sector. A public inquiry into the outrageous blacklisting scandal that has lasted for decades and remains unsorted. And a ban on unpaid internships. And, comrades, importantly, a repeal of anti-trade union legislation that has been one of the most grotesque attacks on our movement. I do just briefly want to consider the local election results we've just seen over the last few days. It seems to me that every politician is interpreting them to support their view on Brexit, whichever way they think we should go. The leader of Sunderland thinks that the Labour Party should be more Brexit, and yet some of its MPs think we should be offering a second referendum. Let's be honest. We're going through some of the toughest political times. Brexit has paralysed Parliament and it's paralysed government. And on Brexit, families, communities, workers are split. But on the last few weeks, I've knocked on hundreds of doors from Remain York to Leave Bolton. Constituents of mine write to me, some wanting no deal, some wanting a second referendum, some wanting to revoke Article 50, some supporting the Tory deal, some wanting a Labour deal, some wanting a customs union, some not wanting a customs union. I think we can all accept there are divisions over Brexit. We have now UKIP, the Brexit Party, the Tory Party, the ERG within the Tory Party, the Lib Dems, the Change UK Party, the Green Party. But comrades, I hope everyone here today knows there is only one party that is offering hope. There's only one party that is offering a socialist vision for this country. And there is only one party that is truly anti-austerity. And that's why we refuse to be defined by Brexit.
Afford that much, please do feel free to leave a small donation and take one. So without further ado, I'd just like to introduce Ron and Bethany, the workie tickets. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is going to be a song about Venezuela. We tried to book Roger Waters, but he's not available, so he'll have to settle for us. Can you please join in the chorus? It's very easy. the chorus here. Get your dirty hands off Venezuela. 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 So if you could help me with that, I'd be very grateful. I was at a wedding yesterday, and I am as rough as I look.
Our new North of Tyne Mayor, Jamie Driscoll. Put your hands together, please.
Thank you. Well, this comes against the background of the media saying that both major parties have... How's that? Right. This comes against the background of the media saying that both major parties have lost. Can we raise this a bit? There we are, thank you. Blackadder. I'll start again. This comes against the background of both major parties being told in the media that there's been a vote, but it hasn't. The Tories have lost, is it 16 times more seats than Labour? Yeah. And that's because the Labour areas declare first, but our victory in the north of Tyne is a verdict on positive campaigning on clear socialist policies, and it was our victory. It's a verdict on a derelict politics created by a derelict government. Local Labour councils have been hit for making the devastating cuts to local services forced on them by a Tory government. Our people have rejected the chaos of a private rented sector where they and their kids can be kicked out of their homes at a month's notice. They've rejected a chaotic housing market where our young people can't even afford to live where they grew up. Our passengers have rejected a chaotic transport system where they don't know if the bus will turn up or if the metro will be running. And our small business owners have rejected the insecurity of not knowing if corporations are going to pay their bills while they escape paying their taxes with impunity. The people in our voluntary sectors have rejected the chaos of a funding system where they don't know what income they will have from year to year. Ordinary working people have rejected the chaos of living from week to week without knowing if they can pay their bills while their debts mount. And our citizens have rejected a politics where hate crime is rising and a strand of politicians and sections of our media fan the sparks of bitterness into the flames of racism and division. And our children have rejected an establishment that's ignored the science of climate change and wrung their hands until it's become an emergency threatening our very civilization. When one of our citizens is hungry and homeless, we are all diminished. All of these crises have the same cause: a dog-eat-dog ideology and an economic system that favours the interest of the ultra-rich over the working people who produce the wealth. Neoliberal capitalism is a rigged system that is long past its sell-by date. It squanders human talent and it wrecks the environment. It's our taxi drivers and care workers and engineers and teachers and chefs and local government officers and small business owners who produce our wealth and keep us safe. The last 40 years of the Labour movement has been the experience of defending the legacy of the past, mainly the 1945 Labour government. We've fought for more money to restore our public services, more teachers, more health workers, to defend our pay, which has been falling in real terms. In January alone, in one food bank in Newcastle, 1,826 children needed food parcels to stave off hunger. We're at the end of the second decade of the 21st century and people are sleeping on the streets. People with disabilities forced to take up work that is killing them. Women over 60 being told to take up apprenticeships by Guy Opperman because their pensions have been pulled out from under them. But money is only half of the battle. The Blairite model was to allow the neoliberal economy to flourish and divert some of the tax revenue to the public services. And it worked for a while. The teachers really were paid more. Hospitals were rebuilt. Sure Start centres were set up and funded. But it came with PFI, and instead of wealth redistribution, we got working tax credits. And when the asset bubble burst, as was inevitable all along, it wasn't the neoliberal elite that lost out, it was the ordinary working people whose wages were so low they needed tax credits. And that's what's significant about this victory on my platform. What makes all this possible is the realization that we are already spending this money. It's just that the profits are being extracted by corporations run in the interest of distant shareholders, not the people who create the wealth or run the services. We'll still be operating against the backdrop of austerity. In the north of Tyne, we'll still be subject to the tides of the global economy. This will not herald a promised land or the end of poverty. What it will show is that a new municipalism is possible, that local democratic ownership outcompetes neoliberal free markets from the perspective of ordinary working people. We need to be on the right side of history. Our region, our country and our world is full of warm people with creative talent and the willingness to put in a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. Socialism is about levelling the playing field for everyone. So no matter what family you're born into, you can grow up to be the best person you can be in a society that helps a person back onto their feet when they stumble. It's about giving people the security of knowing that they can pay their bills because they earn at least the real living wage. And we need a real living wage because it makes good economic sense. It's about creating a level playing field for all those who own and work their small businesses, because they keep money in our local economies and boost our prosperity. And it's about the security of having a warm home that you know you'll be able to make a life in this year and next, so that people can plan their lives and be part of a local community. My campaign has put these policies front and centre, and they've published in my manifesto. And my opponents have called me a socialist. They've said that a Corbynista would never be elected. But that's a label I'm proud to accept. No one was in any doubt about what I will do as North of Tyne Mayor. Our people voted for these socialist policies because they knew it would bring a security to their lives and their loved ones. And this is the manifesto we will deliver. Because if we're going to end the chaos of neoliberal capitalism and unite as a country, we need to win the trust of people who've disengaged from politics. And that starts by delivering the mandate, the manifesto we've been mandated to deliver. So we will be building modular cooperative homes. We will be establishing a people's bank. We will create these hubs and bring lifelong learning to our communities. And we will be convening a climate change liaison group to stop a climate crisis becoming a climate catastrophe. And that will mean working together with the authorities and our public servants. It'll be me working together with the councillors of all parties, and I will extend my hand in friendship. It'll require our trade unions to redouble their efforts to increase their membership and organise work amongst those in precarious work. And we need to build on the great work that our unions are already doing. And as Mayor, I'll work with the unions to make sure that young people get told about trade unions as part of their education. And as Mayor, I will always stand with you when you're in struggle. There will be no return to the politics of Labour politicians embarrassed to be part of the Labour movement. I believe the highest patriotism is the active participation in civic life and hatred. I have the audacity to believe that people everywhere can have enough to eat and a warm home for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality and freedom for their spirits. Capitalism does not permit an even flow of economic resources. With this system, a small privileged few are rich beyond conscience, and almost all others are doomed to be poor and insecure at some level. That's the way the system works. And since we know the system will not change the rules, we are going to have to change the system. Thank you.